Myself a vacation. It's the way I made myself a vacation for me. Um, we love personal time off. We love personal time off. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the workroom, ladies and gentlemen and babies. Hello. Let's see who we got up in here. Shout out to 50 Yachts. Actually, 50 Yachts, I don't know where you're located. But I'm so happy that you try to stay up late wherever you are in the world to stream live with me. That is so beautiful and incredible, and I'm so grateful for that. That's really cute. Welcome to another evening of Dissections. I am Latasha, and tonight we're discussing one of really thrilling Black series, Random Acts of Flyness, on HBO, created by Terrance Nance. It was so funny. Real quick story as I wait for people to come in. I did a comedy show in 2019 called We Shall Overchug. Shout out to my friend and my boy, Jameer Pond. And we did it for a year, and I wanted to elevate the guests. And I reached out to Terrance, and it was like, this is and it's such a kind way to say, oh, hell no, because this show was based off of drinking. It was based off of chugging drinks, and that's just not his vibe. Terrance is such an intellect. He's such a creative, and just chugging cocktails, two other Black creatives. I don't know. But it would have been fly to get him on. But I definitely would love to dive into his mind one day and interview and speak with him. Because this show contains so many aspects of Blackness, these really complex areas of Blackness, and handled in such an abstract, daring, and brave way. Very unapologetic. So we'll definitely be discussing that tonight. But hello, guys. Thank you for coming into the room. I see y'all. I am JustLatasha. Please follow me on social media as well. JustLatasha 404 on Twitter, JustLatasha on Instagram. If you're not a patron, you guys are missing exclusive live shows twice a month. Patreon.com/JustLatasha. Yesterday we went live. And the last show of the month, I allow patrons to come on video with me and talk in real time. And I had my VIP patrons on. They were talking with me, and we fully dove into them, the series on Amazon Prime. And, I'm not telling anyone to not like the show. I don't ever like to encourage people to not watch something. I always want you guys to have your own mind and have your own opinion. So a lovely person on Patreon left me a comment today. They were like, unpopular opinion, I really love them. Yeah, sure, that's okay. That's fine. And I want you guys to have your own independent thought. Please bring various different opinions here. Where I have issue is when people don't know how to disagree nicely. I don't know what happened in this era of the internet, or the era of everybody's opinion needs to be heard, but people don't know how to disagree anymore. People don't know how to tap in and just be like, I'm not really seeing your side. This is how I see it. I don't know if I spoke with you guys about it, but I'm sure I spoke about this already with my patrons yesterday. And for my piece of scripts series, where I did just touch base and raise the question, is them a copy of us? Which I believe it is. People are really vigorous. They're really insulting. They're really degrading. They're really disrespectful because I have my own opinion about the show. I don't care if you disagree. Please disagree. Where I care is when you're trying my Virgo mouth, which is very sharp. You're trying my comedic skill. You're trying my intellectual debating ass and sass. And I don't want to be that person, guys. This is a love room. Don't we ask for hearts up in the chat each and every time? It's a love room, but don't cross that line. We ain't here to talk about them. We're here to talk about us. Let's see who else we got in here today. Hello, Asari. Hi, Kiara. Yes to the live. What's up, JR? Say, baby. Hi, Callie, one of my patrons right there. What's up, Dad Kez? Always holding us down here. Hey, Mara, another patron right here. Yes. As Mara said, please hit the like button. I'm just going off the cuff these days. I'm just doing shows that I really like and I really dove into and that I enjoyed before I even started this dissection series. So this was definitely one of them, and I'm excited to talk about it tonight. I also am thinking of diving into Barry. I don't know if you guys watch that on HBO. Barry is a really, really good show. And it's really great because you have this one man who's battling between two totally different worlds, and comedy ensues. Okay, pretty much like that, played by Bill Hader, who used to be on SNL. Very funny. He's from the Kristen Wiig SNL era. Fred Armisen, like when the good days, the good days, no shade. But that era of SNL was different, okay? And he was definitely on that. So Barry is really good. I might visit that as well. So let's dive in. Let's discuss Random Acts of Flyness. And the show is only a half an hour. It's full of a ton of sketches, but the sketches are so heavy that there's so much to actually discuss. So we're going to spend some time in certain segments just discussing, and let me know your thoughts in the chat, whatever it is comes to mind for you. I would love to hear from you guys. So Random Acts of Flyness, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. If you guys have not watched this show before, it does deal with some heavy Black racial matters. I tried to revisit it because I did enjoy it the first time I saw it when it came out in 2018. And I tried to revisit it as I'm doing in quarantine, and it's heavy. It's heavy. I think I had more tolerance for it because this was something like new and burgeoning. We weren't being beaten over the head, no pun intended, with the slave and police brutality, constant movies and media. So it was a fresh idea when it came out, but now that I've been, succumbed to the constant berating of Blackness, this felt a little heavy this time around, and I found myself not being able to finish the series. I got 2 episodes in the revisit, and I was like, I'm gonna put this down for a little bit. I'll be back, but I needed a break. I really needed a break. What's up, Aliyah? Hello, welcome. So, trigger warning, this is a very heavy show in the imagery and the visuals that they do include. But it was a 6-episode season in 2018. It's not quite sketch comedy, but it is a show filled with sketches. And one of the writers on the show was Shaka King. And even revisiting and looking back, the show also had Dominique Fishback. It had Lakeith Stanfield, all of whom were involved in the making of Judas and the Black Messiah. And to see some of those themes connect from this into Judas and the Black Messiah. I think episode 2 even had a sketch called Bad Hair, which was a feature created by Justin Simeon for Hulu, I think last year. So you can see how all these Black creatives are sort of branching out, but you can see like the nucleus of like where they started. So it was really cool, even down to the cover art. Cover art is real fly. Okay, very like eyes wide shut, like you see, but you're not seeing. You know what I mean? So all of these complexities in these very artistic ways. So we're starting with episode 1. What are your thoughts raising free Black children? What are your thoughts? And Terrance describes this show, as soon as the show opens, he describes it as a fucking show about the beauty and the ugliness of contemporary American life. This episode is directed by Michael Potts. So let's dive in. We're starting with some opening shots here. And really, I want to talk about freedom. And not just me, but he poses the question on the theme, what is Black freedom? Is that even possible for Blackness in America? Are we ever free from whiteness? And it was really funny because I just said this over the weekend to my friend. I was like, if we really think about Blackness, especially Blackness existing in America, we actually haven't even discovered the full depth of who we are, because we're so consumed in the defense of whiteness, constantly in this ever hamster wheel of protecting ourselves and fighting for value and humanity. We don't have the time to fully discover ourselves in our Blackness. That is untapped. And I would even go as far to say, white people don't know who they are either, because their whiteness is dependent on who they oppress. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And we have this image of Terrance recording himself on this cell phone footage in this era of recording yourself, broadcasting yourself. Hello, like I'm very much doing right now, broadcasting yourself, constantly being watched and constantly putting yourself up to be consumed, right? And the juxtaposition of having this gritty cell phone footage you're on HBO, baby. This is a TV show. I really like how he plays often with these visuals of like opposites, playing with the theme of opposites, right? And in his attempts in this series, he's making a show that displays Blackness in its really raw form, its unapologetic form, divergent from the white gaze. However, he's on a white platform, right? And we're watching this man step into his success. This is his show. He's a TV writer. He's starring in it. This would be freedom. This is what I would consider freedom. And look who pulls up right behind him. Whoop, whoop. 5-0. Look who pulls up right behind him in a place where he could be and should be free. He's still just a nigga in a coupe. Shout out to old Kanye. We miss that old Kanye. So we have this rawness, him just being Black, him just being a man on his bike, introducing his TV show to us. And what is the moment that happens? He's being profiled by white police. But something really interesting happens here, where while we're watching this really raw image, he puts some cartoonish visuals on top, right? So the realities of Black oppression with the dreamlike, childish naivety that a cartoon would have us feel. Khaled said, I saw this show a year ago, so I don't remember much all about the sketches, but I remember how cleverly chaotic it is. It is chaos. That's the perfect word to describe this. It is chaos. Absolutely. It surely is chaotic. Aaliyah says, I love the way he incorporated video phone clips. Very organic. Very, very organic. But I'm going to get into this sketch, which is heavy. But I remember seeing it for the first time, and it really shook me. It woke something up, right? And I love seeing things that get inside me. And I felt like that with Hereditary, which I won't shut up about. But y'all just ignore me. Y'all just be letting me go off, and y'all just ignore me, and I love you for that. And I felt like that with Hereditary, like the movie was like inside. And I felt like that with Black Panther. I felt different after I saw Black Panther. So this sketch kind of sat with me for a little bit. And I really love when TV makes me feel like that, or film makes me feel like that. This is a game show called Everybody Dies. This is a game show called Everybody Dies. This is the existential dread. Ripa the Reaper treats death, it's very normal. It's an everyday occurrence. And the most disturbing thing is that she's not wrong. We in our human life treat death as this like we can't, right? Close that door, shut your eyes. Just like the cover of the Random Acts of Flyness poster, shut your eyes. I don't want to talk about it. We know death is right there at any moment. It's the most chilling, humanizing thing to know that this existence is just temporary. So Ripa is joyful and smiling, and she is death embodied. And here we're having this emotional war because this segment, this TV show this game show is presented as something that's like cheerful and happy. And we're watching her, this Grim Reaper in the form of a Black woman, ushering Black children towards death. Wow. She does this thing where she replaces the lyrics of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with a note about how death is for sure coming for each and every one of us. And more sinisterly, she lists all the ways that death can meet us. And many of her examples included police brutality and how those were surprises. And all it does in this game of life is remind you that all of this is completely out of our control. Now that, for a person like me, makes me so uncomfortable because I like to believe and delude myself into the idea that I can control a lot. And I get very uncomfortable when there are things out of my control. I know what I want the answer to be for me, for my benefit, but that ain't going to be the answer all the time. That's life. So there's two fears that many of us have and many of us can relate to that's meeting here in one place in this sketch: death and the realization that we don't control shit. They put them right here at the same time. And so when you take two of those deep-rooted human fears and you mask it under this beautiful, soft, childlike song, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That song that used to put us to sleep, the song that used to comfort us, it was like a soft lullaby ushering us into unconsciousness. So in thinking of freedom and thinking about how Blackness is trapped in America, what if death is the most peace we will ever get? I don't want to get dark on y'all. I don't want to get dark on y'all. There's another step where she takes this. She plays a game with the children who enter her game show. That she lines them up and they enter the door labeled life, and they're about to face a door labeled death. And she says, let's play a game. And she asked the children, what's the right answer? Gag is there's actually no question. What these beautiful Black babies have to do to pass life or death is guess the right answer with no help, no context, no clues. What's the right answer? So the children take their turns and they guess anything in the world because there's absolutely no context for this game, and all of their answers are wrong. And Ripper the Reaper ushers them through the door of death. This show. So let's go back to freedom, because this life is on borrowed time. The cost of life is death. Is that freedom? Is life in itself freedom when we're all going to meet the same fate? Happy Monday, y'all. We're all going to meet the same fate. That is the cost. So how can Black people maximize the quality of this ride, this temporary experience? Our soul visited Earth, wanted to have a human form, and then we're going to be ushered off into the stars and the galaxy again. Do we have a choice? Do we have control? And something super weird happens at the end where I haven't quite figured it out. So I definitely want to get your takes. If any of you have seen it, or if you're just kind of following what's being said here. At the very end of this sketch, Ripper the Reaper screams, help me, help me. And she tries to enter through the door of death and can't escape her own game show. What do we think about that? That the Grim Reaper is asking and pleading for help. And can't escape through the door of death. Asari says, the way they use dark-skinned Black babies to portray the sketch had me emotional. This show was on a different level. The rawness of these vignettes were so well done. Come on, JR, what you gotta say? What do we think about that? Miss Ripper the Reaper, the Grim Reaper herself, cannot escape this game show. JR says that she doesn't have control either. She can't control when she goes. And really funny, because you would think the Grim Reaper, or it's told to us, the Grim Reaper has the control over when we go, But the Grim Reaper has no control over when she goes. She can't choose it. Janelle says she is tired of senseless death of Black people. Could be, because it's literally her job to usher them in. I'm glad you said Black people, Janelle, because in the beginning of this sketch, two white kids are also in line, and she pushes them back out through the life door and says, "This is not your room." And kept the Black kids. This sketch, y'all. This sketch, Asari says, only white supremacy has the control as to who gets to live and die. Khaled says, where she's going to escape to, back to life. Is this life worth living? And visually, it shows that in this sketch. She leaves through the death door and circles right back through the life door, and she's stuck in this place. I guess if she is death, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? So we're going to get a little deeper. We're going to get a little deeper. And this show, mind you, is only 30 minutes. And it is jam-packed. I'm actually not even covering every sketch because the sketches that I chose are really deep. Okay. This sketch is called 97 Quadrillion Problems and the Police Are Only One. Let's think about that. Let's think about that. 97 quadrillion problems and the police are only one. We think about how often we give our energy, our time, and our attention to racism and police brutality. That don't give us enough space to request PTO from our job, pay bills, get our hair done, raise our kids as healthy as they can be, work on our friendships, work on our romances, learn to cook, learn to ski. There are so many other things that life calls for our energy and our attention, and think about how much we give to one problem. And it shapes and it molds so much of how we relate to ourselves as Black people. This one problem. I'm going to read y'all a quote that was said in this sketch. If your fight or flight is always on, it ages you at a cellular level. You might have the body of a 30-year-old, but you have the cellular composition of a 50-year-old. You're tired. This image that I have up here is of Fred Hampton's wife, who survived the CIA massacre in his home, as displayed in Judas and the Black Messiah, which I've dissected with Ashley Acuna of the Grapevine TV on this channel. And we're looking at Akua and Jerry. I really hope I'm saying that right, but I got an American mouth. It don't move right. Who was the wife of Fred Hampton, who tells the story of her being in the bed 9 months pregnant with his child while the CIA are shooting bullets into him. Describing how she's due in 2 weeks and she can feel each bullet hitting the mattress. She's laying right next to her husband. And then she has to give birth to a new human. What her body and her mind and her cells have just held on to will feed this baby and then bring him into the world. So these are like the generational traumas and curses and pains that this generation has really taken a lead to break. I know in my generation is stopping with me. I am all the healing of my bloodline. We're not continuing this, right? And so many people don't even know that they're traumatized. So many people don't even know that they're sick. So many people don't even know that they're hurt because they're in survival mode. So your body is holding on to this and your energy is holding on to this, and then you give birth to children. So because of Black trauma, which we carry in our bodies, that we pass down to the children, we're reaching death much quicker while we're still alive. Our bodies are dying before our minds catch up. holding that death inside of us. Remember, your body remembers. Cellularly, energetically, spiritually, your body holds it and remembers. So if you think about that, think about 400 years of enslaved African people, the things that they've seen, the things that they've went through to give birth to us and what we carry in our blood. How death could be residing in our blood, which is supposed to be serving us as a life force. We've made an exchange somewhere that we're going to have to put that back down. We're going to have to put that back down. And this segment did what Judas and Messiah did as well, where Dominique Fishback was playing this woman, where she was explaining to Fred, like, I know you're about the revolution and I know you gonna hurt your body to save your community, but I have to worry about my body because I'm holding your child. And this segment pays attention to the Black women who almost lost their lives and who almost lost their child's lives because of the racist neglect in healthcare. So while I'm trying to give life to me and my child, y'all are allowing death to reside here. And they showed Serena Williams, who had to beg for help. She didn't get help until her white husband spoke up on her behalf. They shared Akua and Jerry, all these pregnant Black mothers who have to fight for life and then give life. Y'all, this is a sketch. And it's not necessarily that it's comedy. Like, I don't believe these sketches are comedy, but there's these little moments, right? They're just little captures of the Black experience and how heavy it is. And we've become so in tuned to survival mode that we actually don't stop and realize what we're carrying in our everyday lives. We're just carrying this knowledge around and going to work. Take that PTO, y'all. Take that PTO. Janelle says transgenerational trauma is real. Sure is. It sure is. Y'all still with me? Y'all still with me? We're gonna lighten it up a little bit, okay? I think the death game show, everybody dies, and this were the heaviest ones. So we're gonna pick it back up a little bit, okay? Imagine if I dissected the series, y'all. We would be crying every Monday night, 6 p.m. EST. Let's pick it up. The sketch is called White Be Gone. Where John Hamm sells White Be Gone, a cream that cures white people of white thoughts, which they named a virus called albinitis, AKA albino. White Be Gone, cure white thoughts with White Be Gone, that Black ink on their head, right? We have a really great actor here, John Hamm, who we enjoy, who we love, being the spokesperson for this infomercial, for this product. And he himself, it becomes like hyper realism. He himself takes accountability for the white thoughts that he had. He used to tweet really ignorant things. And he actually like said it and addressed it here in the sketch. Like, look, this is what I said. I had white thoughts, but now I have White Be Gone. So this top photo on the left was this really beautiful moment that can be also triggering, okay? But we see here a person recording to more Black people in the foreground. In the background. And on the phone is the literal footage of Eric Garner's last moments before police took his life. However, beyond the phone that this person seems to be recording is this play of these dead skeletal entities taunting this regal God tier king. So Eric Garner's actual video on this phone, layered from this play that makes it a bit surreal. As if it's like X-ray vision, what we're really looking at. Dead things taunting this God-level king. And I think as a Black person, and many of us have probably said it, we wish there was just this magic moment where this could just stop. Like if this could just stop. I wish I had a power where I could just turn this off. I wish I could fly. I wish you wish that something supernatural, something unrealistic would happen so this realistic terror would stop. But this commercial made me think that maybe it might be as simple as what Jon Hamm is doing, holding white people accountable. Like we as Black people who are constantly experiencing whiteness are asking for a magic ability. And the answer is something so simple and based in reality, white people have to stop. And think about, again, these themes of opposition. I'd rather be a superhero, an unnatural human to make this stop. And the answer to all of this is white people stopping. And the asks are just as unrealistic. If we're being honest, the asks are equally unrealistic. So I have a question for y'all. There's this moment here, and I want to jump into the chat with this audience question. There's a moment here, if you look at the bottom left photo, there are two Black producers directing and guiding Jon Hamm in this infomercial. So it becomes almost hyper realistic, right? That Jon Hamm is reciting lines and acting on a fully Black production, that Black minds are actually controlling what comes out of his mouth, because for once, in many moons, we can control the narrative. So in a show that attempts to free Blackness from the white gaze, do we think a sketch like this centers whiteness, or is it actually holding them accountable? And think about, in succession, all of the sketches we've discussed thus far. This show challenges Blackness to exist unapologetically, but think about all of the topics we've addressed up until this moment. Now that we're here with White Be Gone, now that we're here with Jon Hamm, who's starring in this sketch and speaking, are we still in the intention to free ourselves from the white gaze? Are we still serving whiteness or censoring whiteness? Or does this actually hold them accountable? And we can ask that for a lot of Black films. Like, why are we making this, right? Why are we making this? Kala said, I forgot Jon Hamm did this. They came out with the bang on this show. They said, get the stars lined up. Lakeith Stanfield was in this sketch as well. He comes in all the way at the end. Who produces this show? I don't know who the other producers are, but created, written, direct, or they have different directors, but from the mind of Terrance Nance. That's how Jordan Peele likes to introduce himself, his little fly ass. From the mind of Jordan Peele. Yo, shut up, Peele. You right, though. But you ain't got to say it all fly. Terrance Nance created the show. Janelle says, I think it's the latter. They are literally getting whiteness up out of here by a chokehold. Put it in a chokehold. I think about that because I made 2 seasons of a web series called Sit Black and Relax. And as a creator, I had to challenge myself and say, and it's about racism, and it's about, season 1 was about an interracial friendship, a Black and a white woman. Season 2 was about 2 Black women, but up against, white forces. And I had to ask myself, honestly, as a creator, am I challenging whiteness or am I centering it? What does Black freedom look like? How do you walk the line of Black freedom? How do you create Black freedom? And I also had to ask, if John Hamm, I mean, this was a part of his lines, this was a part of the sketch, this was what was written for him, but did John Hamm get it, right? He has this line in here where he goes to the Black producer, hey, you know, I'm white, but I'm not like white. Like, I'm not white. Like he does this thing that white people do when they feel like they're allies and they're the good guys and they're chummy with Black folk. They try to distance themselves from other white people. I'm not like them. I'm not like, you know, I'm part like Greek. You know, we get really tense. Like they try to distance themselves. And it's like, no, stay in it. You're the bad guy. Even as a good guy who's helping me, who's showing up to the protest, who's paying, who's putting a family up in your house, whatever you're doing, you're still the bad guy. I don't know what to tell you. You are. And it's your work every day to undo whiteness. It's not enough to be up next to me. Don't be up next to me. You have to be non-racist. You have to be unracist. You have to be anti-racist. It's an action, continuing action. Don't like me, like me. Damien says, we never or hardly ever get to control our narrative, so they took full advantage of this opportunity. They beat his ass in the sketch. They sure did. Callis says, this is still HBO. I think any white person who continued watching the show past the first sketch is truly watching and willing to learn. That first sketch probably weeded out the Trumpsters. God, I forgot all about that era. Thank you so much for the super chat, Trini boy. You always hold me down. Thank you. It's just something to think about, but I think in this moment, Terrance Nance actually asked himself that question. If in my work, I continue to talk about police brutality, I continue to talk about racism, I continue to talk about Blackness under the white thumb, am I centering whiteness? Is that what the show is going to be about? And right here in the midpoint, directly in the middle of the show, we have this self-actualization by whoever this woman is who's texting him. Start affirming Blackness more. Police is only one problem. How much other areas of Blackness can you dive into, explore, and put up on a medium, a great platform like HBO? And this is my gripe with Black film and TV is going. Are we going to keep centering whiteness and our Black pain? Because Black people have so much more in their humanity, and we would love to see it. Okay? And from right here, the entire show shifts. The sexual proclivities of the Black community. Y'all, this whole segment, oh my God, all these beautiful Black people, this dark skin and this soft light, and they are beautiful. This is just so important, okay? This is just so important. It's so important. It's so important because even in this Black orgy that's kind of happening here, we see queerness dibbled and dabbled up in there. It makes us little arrivals, right? And so many of us don't even realize all of the prisons we put each other in, all of the prisons we put ourselves in, because essentially we as Black people are really desperate for value. Because if we are valuable, if we can pinpoint something that will make us valuable, that will give us access to humanity. And humanity is safety and kindness and life. We are looking for freedom. And if I'm not a certain kind of person that other people find value, then the access to life will be denied. So what we're watching here is this series of dark Black skin exploring pleasure and sex. And they're nude, they're fully nude here. And that's very important because usually when you see nudity, when you see like naked bodies, it's providing it for people consuming, right? Remember Terrance Nance opened up with him filming himself on his cell phone. It's this performance, usually when you see nudity, it's for the person watching. But as we're watching these beautiful dark bodies engage in one another and allowing themselves to receive pleasure, we have nothing to do with that. They are in this moment completely serving themselves and their pleasure, and it just so happened to be filmed for mine. And it takes the constant affirming of different Black identities and expressions to free ourselves, to say it's okay to be you in that way. I see you, I love you, you are allowed to be here. You are allowed access to life. No more prisons for each other, no more prisons for ourselves. You are valuable, period. Not if you blank, blank, blank. You are valuable, period. You and your entire Black person. So it didn't even say much here, but just this opening to this whole segment about what they're going to do to start affirming Blackness more. And it starts off with them receiving pleasure. Life is supposed to feel good. Don't you like that word, Damien? Proclivities. Don't you like that word? Isn't it so good? That's why I'm grateful for creatives like Issa Rae, Janet Mock, Misha Green, Lena Waithe, etc. Khaled said shows like Blackish constantly cater to white audiences, holds their hands through concepts that Black people already know. I like this show that it puts Black people first. I want to go back to the cover art of this show. The dark-skinned Black baby covering the eyes of this adult man who's covering the eyes of the Black baby, but the third eye is open. Those who are meant to see will see. You're not going to know what's going on if you're not of this experience. So those who are meant to see will see. Either you're going to be blind or you can see what we're really talking about without us having to say much, because you understand the language because you are a part of the culture. Affirming Blackness more. Man, so let's affirm a Black person. They featured this beautiful person by the name of Yilin. And the topic of this segment is the invisibility of the bisexual Black man. Now, really quickly, I don't know if in this time, Yilin and or the creators of this show were including gender expansion, the acknowledgement of more genders, right? Because it's titled The Black Man. I don't know if Yilin identifies as he, man, male, but Yilin is here. Okay. And Yilin spoke about fluidity, gender fluidity in any form, and being non-conforming and non-binary. But they showed up for this segment specifically speaking about bisexual Black men. Oh, Yilin's a tattoo artist. Do you know their pronouns? True. Yes, I think I do have some bi boys in here. Go ahead, Trini boy. I don't want to say I know who the other person is, but I want them to say it themselves. I don't like, and you bi, and you, but no. I'm bi. So the thing about where we opened up in this episode, where the police is chasing down Terrance Nance, and we're seeing and addressing Black trauma, to coming here where Black people are giving themselves pleasure and affirming themselves, even the setting in this space of life, right? With these plants and this softness and this open space and this vulnerable space of connecting to each other. So Yilin is a Black person who identifies as fluid in all aspects, right? And they tell their experiences balancing romance and balancing sex with other men and women. I believe they were dating cis het men and women. So in their experience, they did engage with a woman partner who was supportive of how they dressed and went out and brought them dresses and did all of that. And was cool with like the non-binary like expression, like I saw this dress, I thought of you, I wanted to bring you on X, Y, and Z. But after that relationship, Yilin engaged in another woman who was like, what is this skirt? Very Molly of Insecure, right? Very like, he's bisexual, what is that? Couldn't get over the hump. And I see that from a lot of bisexual Black men where Black women are not supportive of their identity and give them hell. You gay, you might as well just go over and be over there. No, that's why they're with you or trying to be. I done yelled at Black women plenty of times for trying to be one of the oppressors on Black sexuality and Black sexuality on Black men. Tamar Braxton blocked me for it. I wasn't even coming at you, sis. You honestly could have learned and came in here and gave me a hug because I wasn't even dragging you like that. And it really be the Black woman with the gay Black best friends who only pigeonhole them to be their personal shoppers and their little gossip tea spillers. And it's just like, queer Black men have so much, they're a human being in front of your face. What are you missing? Don't treat people like that, don't pigeonhole them. And I will never understand the cognitive dissonance that happens with some Black people who really bank on these cornered off, blocked identities in order for them to delude themselves as having value and power. So. Okay, not them. I can say he, cool. Cool. Trini Boy says bi erasure is a thing. I remember the Grapevine has a wonderful discussion about biphobia in the Black community. Yes. I've been blocked by Tamar for years, y'all. To be fair, it was an era where everybody was ganging up on her for stupid stuff. Like she was on the reel and it was cute to spill tea and drag and do all that. So her name was in headlines a lot. So by the time my video popped up, she had no patience. And I understand, like she had no patience. She was just like, absolutely not here for it. Like she just could not take another negative thing being said about her. I think it was actually really difficult for her, but yeah, I'm blocked. But I always keep up with her. Like I really do love her and I really love her albums and her music. Like it wasn't even like that. I just like, I am gonna hold you accountable though. Like I don't let Black women, because we the same, y'all not gonna disrespect another intersection of Blackness, not on my watch. Sorry. It's just not gonna happen, you know? Like it's just not. Exactly. Sorry. It's the homophobia for me. Not on my watch. Like, I don't know what to tell y'all. Not on my watch. And Black people be so mad at me when I say that. You're going to let all Black people exist safely. Like I will fight you myself. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So listen to this segment with Yilin. He is very open. He's very beautiful. He's very honest. And this segment was cut down. They say it in the show that the segment was cut down so severely because they're on a crunch for time. But they do have the full interview with him, I believe on maybe HBO.com, HBO Max, something like that. So yeah. Indie Girl says, I feel like a lot of Black women are so terrified to date a DL man that they are intolerant to bi men. They're gonna have to climb a hill and get over it. Like, what? If your man turns out to be gay, be hurt, be disappointed, be mad that you're losing your partner, but you have to let them be themselves. Like, you can't give them more hell because they come out as brave enough to continue their truth. Like, y'all gonna have to move on, move around. Thank you, Ken, for the super chat. I really, really, really appreciate it. Trini Boy says, I wasn't open with my ex-girlfriend, so she was hella shady to me after the fact. But after many discussions, she came around. You patient. You're really kind. You were kind and you were patient. So as the show is winding down, there's another beautiful moment where it comes into this stylized pace of blackface. And Terrance Nance almost redefines the phrase blackface, right? The same as we may have seen with the N-word. Is blackface centering the horrific thing that white people have done? Can we reclaim our actual blackface? Can we reclaim our actual blackface? Can that be ours again? Right? And in this very like Spike Lee like style of like video portraits of just blackness facing very intimately, facing one-on-one, you and me, right? All different kinds of Black people. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is just another way to access our freedom and to access our humanity. But we come back where we started. And this is my favorite occurrence of the show. This was my favorite occurrence of the show. It feels powerful. It feels so powerful because if we could use magic to free ourselves, if we could use magic to live, if we could use magic to know more Blackness, affirm Blackness more in depth. And what Terrance Nance does, as this series does, is pair that surrealism with the terror of our reality, right? If we can save ourselves, if we can be our own hero, if only we could fly away. If only we could fly away. And just watching his feet leave the ground, very Peter Pan, very childlike, very imagination, like an adult Black man playing with his imagination. And this is my thing. Again, y'all, if you have the power and the finance and the resources to make a Black film, you ain't gonna fly away. You're gonna kill yourself with your own money and your own imagination. Is that all you can see for yourself and us? Is that all y'all can see? You could do anything. You can do anything. I don't know, y'all, that's just me. That's just me. I just be wanting like, let's imagine, let's have a fantasy, let's play, right? We can tell any story in the world. You ever seen a Black man turn into a turtle? Wouldn't that be fire, right? And he's on a journey to steal the last weed that exists. Like, you could do anything. I don't want to see us dying on screen no more. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And I'll say something else. I really had patience for Lovecraft Country because it gave me so much magical realism paired with historical Black reality that it gave me the patience to bear with the heaviness of the show. You know, it was so fictional that it was still a land of play. Now, in horror, you're gonna get fucked up. Like, that's just what's going to happen in horror. So knowing the genre and then watching them make it so fictional that they put in these realistic moments, Lovecraft Country gave me patience. These other regular ass slave police brutality ass shows, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm good. And that's just me. That's my personal tea, my personal opinion. Y'all, I am here every Monday evening, 6 p.m. EST. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, JustLatasha. Twitter, JustLatasha404. When you spell my name, please lowercase the T. It is Latasha, 3 A's, no I, no O. I don't be knowing where other people get that from. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. I do go live twice a month over on Patreon, patreon.com/JustLatasha. Join the tiers, get some merch, join some shows, come on camera with me and talk about it in real time. Let's look at some really good, fun ass shows and movies. Again, I'm thinking about doing Barry. I don't know if y'all watched that. Let me know. Let me know what other shows y'all watching. But let me jump into the chat before we sign out of here. Let's see what y'all saying. Y'all said, yo, when he flew, I was so hyped. A black man flying. It be the little things. And this is what I was saying about Issa Rae. We see so much nonsense that we forget that we could just be simple as fuck. And that is so exciting. Issa came out and was awkward. That was her biggest story, was that she was a black woman who was awkward, but it was so simple that we don't think black people can access that basic level of humanity. And it was so simple, it was genius. We don't have to be super, right? But think about just the basic superpowers. We didn't even build no Marvel universe. It's just a black man who flew away. He just flew away. Nonsensical, fun, imaginative, creative. Let's play. You can play, right? Remember that time we were getting our superpowers? What a time. I don't know. Mine ain't kick in yet. I don't know if y'all had y'all superpowers yet. Mine didn't kick in. The perception that bi men are insatiable when it comes to sex, that has never been my reality. If I'm with a dude, I'm with a dude. If I'm with a girl, I'm with a girl. I am cleared over 30 years old. I am insatiable. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. As a bi black woman, I am insatiable. If you can't keep up, that's why I need to. This is what I'm saying. Okay. Yes, some hearts up in the chat. Thank you, Simone. It's the skin for me. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, season 2, it should be coming out. I checked for the date. They didn't list it, but it will be coming back on HBO as season 2, I believe this year, but that's unconfirmed. But season 2 is confirmed. So it's definitely coming. We just don't know when. I have never truly seen myself reflected on TV except maybe Ari on Boomerang on BET. Oh, I didn't watch Boomerang. I watched Bigger. Bigger was really good. Yay, Rachel. Thank you for being here. Hearts up in the chat. Please do not leave without subscribing and giving a thumbs up. Guys, hit your notification bells because when I go live, YouTube will send you an email and let you know I'm on, okay? Do not leave without doing those things. I'm on social media. I'm on Patreon. Thank you so much. Have an incredible Monday evening, and I will be back with Piece of Scripts on Thursday. A little bite-sized movie review, okay? Love y'all. Be black, be happy, be joyous, be peaceful. Take care of yourselves. Give yourself pleasure.